But let's of course start with this big story from India, where the Indian Parliament was in complete chaos today after the Union Home Minister Amit Shah introduced 3 highly contentious bills. Now, the government is seeking to establish a procedure for the removal of chief ministers and also the prime minister, specifically those who are facing jail terms on serious criminal charges. So as soon as the Union Home Minister Amit Shah took the floor, the opposition's lawmakers started raising slogans. The lawmakers tore copies of this bill, and some of them were also hurled at the Home Minister.
सदस्य ये जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष मैं प्रस्ताव करता हूं कि भारत के संविधान का संशोधन करने वाला विधेयक संघ राज्य क्षेत्र शासन अधिनियम 1963
The House reconvened after a short adjournment. Amit Shah announced the formation of Joint Parliamentary Committee, and the bills will be discussed by the committee that will also include members from the opposition parties. It will present its report before the next session of the Parliament.
कि मैं इस बिल को संयुक्त समिति को सौंपने की दरखास्त करने वाला हूं। इस पर संयुक्त समिति जो राज्यसभा और लोकसभा पक्ष और विपक्ष सभी सांसदों की बनेगी, जो इस पर विचार करेगी और आपके सामने लेकर आएगी।
Now, despite the move, the opposition continued to oppose the bills, accusing the government of subverting the constitution and to turn India into a police state. So let's take a closer look at the controversial bills. They focus on the removal of the Prime Minister, on chief ministers and also ministers of the states and union territories. According to the proposed bills, the elected executives serving in the government will be removed from office if they are detained under serious criminal charges. The deadline for the removal has now been set to 30 days. If the Prime Minister, the Chief Ministers or any other minister does not resign on the 31st day of being jailed, then he or she would be automatically removed from office as per this bill. The bills will now be discussed by the Joint Parliamentary Committee, finding a balance between moral responsibility of elected representatives and legislative obligation to resign if jailed has now opened a new battle in Indian politics. Let's also now listen to some political reactions that have come in on this proposed bill from the lawmakers of the opposition as well as from the ruling party.
This government is hell-bent on creating a police state. This will be a death knell and leash on elected government, sir. Indian constitution is being amended to turn this country into a police state.
It distorts parliamentary democracy, which is again basic structure, by displacing will of the people through mere custody, bereft of judicial determination.
लेकिन कुछ लोग जो नैतिकता की दुहाई देकर के भी जेल जाकर भी शासन चलाते हैं, उससे भारत के राजनीतिक शुचिता कमजोर होती है, शर्मिंदा होती है। उसी को एड्रेस करने का बिल तो है।
सवाल ये खड़ा होता है कि विपक्ष विरोध किस बात का कर रहा है, नैतिकता का और भ्रष्टाचार। आखिरकार क्या भारतीय राजनीति में अगर भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ और नैतिकता के आधार पर इस्तीफा देने की बात और उसके बाद कानून बनाने की बात करते हैं, तो विपक्ष इसका विरोध क्यों करता है?
It goes against everything, and to couch it as a measure which is being taken anti-corruption is just to pull a veil across the eyes of the people.
All right, now joining us on the broadcast, we've got Mr. Sandeep Ghosh, who's a political commentator and also an author, and is joining us in this broadcast from Mumbai. Mr. Ghosh, there was complete pandemonium that unfolded in the Parliament today. The government has proposed this particular bill. Why do you think this bill is so controversial, and why does the government, one, want to pass a bill such as this, and why is the opposition opposing it?
See, the pandemonium, I think, was both anticipated, and the opposition walked into the trap of the government. The government wanted to send a message out of this, and it's no surprise that the bill has been passed, pushed onto the parliamentary committee for saying, I don't think the government ever intended to have the bill passed in this particular session. But where the opposition has, I think, misjudged it, scored a self-goal, is the government would now say that we are trying to do away with corruption, and the opposition is, not in favor of it. And in contrast, the same opposition, Rahul Gandhi had once torn off an ordinance which wanted to promulgate something very similar, though at that point in time it was about convicted members of parliament, etc. Not in this particular case as anybody who has been jailed for 30 days.
Right.
But that is something the opposition could have debated on merits rather than creating this pandemonium, crushing the bill, throwing it at the Home Minister and the rest. I think that has strengthened the government's case, and they will take mileage of it in the coming elections.
All right. Now, the opposition's argument is fairly simple. The opposition says that this bill subverts the very structure of the Indian constitution. It takes away the will of the people who can elect the government and puts that power in the hands of the judiciary, which will determine whether the individual who's been elected is a criminal or not. And by that, the democratic system of India would be subverted. How does the government respond to that?
See, the opposition contradicts itself at each step. On the one hand, they go running to the judiciary to impeach elected parliamentarians or government, take action, seize power from the legislative authorities over there. But when it doesn't suit them, they say, okay, democracy is being destroyed and you're taking away power from the elected representatives. So there are a bunch of contradictions. The way to go forward to it is to have a healthy, serious debate and, either accept it with modification. Nobody can question the basic premise of this.
Right.
Even opposition MPs like Shashi Tharoor, or you look at Prashant Kishore in Bihar itself, they have supported the basic tenet of the bill. They're saying there's nothing wrong in this. The fine print can be debated, the provisos can be debated, but not the concept itself.
All right. I think that's a cogent argument there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Ghosh, for joining us with that perspective.
Thank you.